Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Vasecchia with the Scratch Golf Academy, Level 3 TPI Golf Fitness Instructor. Today I want to tell you 3 simple drills that you can do to prime your hips to get ready to work on rotational power. Stay tuned and we'll get into it deeper. Before we begin, if you could, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you receive a notification every time we upload a new video. This way we can keep the steam going and rolling so that we can keep bringing you all this content. Now, I talked about doing 3 simple, easy drills that we can use to prime your hips to get ready to work on more of the advanced things that we'll be getting to, which is rotational power. So before we even begin these drills, there's one quick test to see if you have the proper mobility of internal and external rotation in your hip joint. And what we're going to use is just a 6-iron and any other club, it doesn't matter, but one of them should be a 6-iron because that gives you about a 60-degree lie angle. And using that 60-degree lie angle, that's going to give us the amount of rotation that we're going to try to achieve 60 or more in our hips, internally and externally. So I'm just going to lie the club down and then line another one up. And I'm looking at the angle that is here. That's what I want to try to get to. So if I put my foot lined up straight, grab my hips. If you want to use another club to put across your hips so you can tighten it down and turn, just don't cheat with it to see if you get to that angle, that 60-degree angle. So if you're facing this one and you're lined up perfectly with it, then you want to turn and be able to face that one with all your weight on the leg that you're testing, on the side that you're testing. So really one leg, just put this down for balance, see if you can make it, then switch. That was internal rotation on my left. Now this is going to be external rotation on my right. Okay, and then you would flip the clubs over and do the same test on the other side. Now that's how you test to see if you have the mobility. Even if you do, have that mobility, these drills are still going to strengthen the muscles surrounding your hip and keep that mobility where it should be forever, hopefully, unless you need a hip rotation or a hip replacement one day. But that's a whole other ball game. That's if you took trauma or injury. But usually if you can stick with these drills, injuries just won't happen anyway. Now, the first one that we're going to do drill-wise is going to be internal and external banded rotation. I'm going to do these seated. It kind of helps. You don't have to worry about balancing while you're trying to do it standing. So what I did is I have 2 bands here, 2 of these exercise bands tied together just so it gives me a little more play, a little bit more room to move my foot and the tension doesn't get so tight so fast with just using one. And I just tied them around a dumbbell on the floor. If you have an anchor and you're at home and you don't have a dumbbell heavy enough, I mean really it's not going to take a big dumbbell. A 20-pound dumbbell would probably hold it depending on the resistance of your band. This is probably a medium. You can get light, extra light. I would suggest you start with extra light or light. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them almost anywhere these days. But it'd be Walmart online. I don't know if they have them in the store or not. I can honestly tell you I haven't checked. But I know you can get them on Amazon. And they're just long exercise bands. They're not the mini bands. So I'm going to get down. If I'm set up, the leg that is closest to the anchor is going to be my internal rotation leg. Try to put it up closer to the ball of your foot. And I'm going to internally rotate, locking out my quad and internally rotating for 10 to 15. Once I finish that, I'm going to slide over just a touch, slip it on my other foot, and I'm going to do external rotation for 10 to 15 as well. Then I would just turn around, face this direction, and do the same thing on the other side. So this drill, again, is just going to strengthen the internal and external rotators. It's actually probably one of the main drills that I like to do for people, but I got 2 more coming up that you'll also enjoy. One helps with disassociation, which will be stork turn. That one will allow you to create more X factor, allow you to move your hip independent from your torso. It's just we'll have a whole other section just on that. And then the other one that we're going to do is going to be clam shells. All right, our next drill is going to be clam shells. So with clam shells, the important thing is you want to try to keep your hips aligned right here. You don't want to move back like this. You want to make sure that the hip is doing all the work. So what you'll do from here is you'll just bring your leg up as high as you can and back down. Again, this is working external rotation. We're going to do internal rotation when we do reverse clamshells. So this clamshell, you'll bring it up as high as you can, 10 to 15 times. We're going to do a few sets of these, just like we do on everything. Once you get done with that, you're going to leave a little gap right here between your knees, about the amount of your fist, and we're going to do a reverse clamshell. So again, we're going to try to bring our foot up in the air, keeping our knee right where it was. We don't want all this kind of movement like that to do it. All we're working on is internal and external rotation. We're not doing adduction and abduction. That's going to be something else. Abduction this way, adduction is this way. But we'll work on that later. Right now, we're only working on rotation. So again, this is external rotation. These are clamshells. Do not let your hips move back in this direction. Make sure that you are staying stacked with your hip and you're really just working a lot of this gluteus medius right here. And then reverse clamshell. You'll also feel that in your gluteus medius a lot. You should be fired up a lot in this area for this drill. Do both sides, 10 to 15 on each one. Okay, and our third drill is going to be stork turns. This is the one I was telling you that's going to have disassociation. And what I mean by disassociation, are you able to move your hips independent of your shoulders? So this will help with what's called the X factor. So basically you get more of a whip action when you get down to impact. So you can go here, your hips will go, torso will follow. But this also gives you a good amount of internal rotation. So I'm throwing it in here in one of the primers because I like it for the dissociation. I also like it for your ability to get more into your internal part of your hip. So first thing that you want to do in this drill is we're trying to lock the shoulders off so they can't move at all. So all your rotation is coming from the hip. So I'm going to show you two angles. I'm going to show you here, then I'll show you from behind. You're going to lock your elbows. Do not allow them to move whatsoever in doing this drill. Because if they move, your shoulder's going to turn. So lock them. I'm going to take my foot and put it directly behind my knee, locking the knee that I have my weight on the ground, locking it out completely. And I'm now going to rotate to the right and to the left, but mostly getting my knee across my body. So showing you from another angle, from behind, watch my shoulders. It's my goal to lock out here and not allow them to move at all. Then you would switch sides, get about 15 of those again. Keep those elbows locked. If I bend my elbow, which will have a tendency to do, you'll see how much movement I'm getting in my shoulder. We don't want that at all. Okay, this drill, again, dissociation, separating upper and lower body, allows you to also get used to being in this impact position and rotating through your hip. Also, with that position, it'll help get into some deceleration as well, but that's a whole other video. So if you like these drills, please hit the subscribe button, and that way we can, or give us a thumbs up if you like it too. That way we can keep giving you this content. We'll have more stuff coming out. We are looking at your comments. Feel free to comment. We will answer them, and we also use them for suggestions for future videos. Thank you.